All right, I'm going to talk about why karma is not as important as people make it out to be. So, karma, as we might have discussed before, or you might have heard of before, is basically the good intentions, not things, good intentions that you do will go on either in this lifetime or another lifetime to benefit you. Or the bad things that you do in this lifetime, bad intentions, as in like willfully wanting to hurt someone or stealing stuff like that, um, again is going to go to another lifetime and cause you harm or cause you to be reborn in places you probably would not like to be reborn. So the reason why that it's not that important as a Buddhist, because there's two levels of karma. There's a mundane karma. I'm going to try to make an analogy of a ship here. Let's go with that one. So the mundane karma is the karma I just explained, where you do good things, you can either get to good, better places like heavens, fish, or or if you do bad karma, you go to somewhere that's not heaven, like you know, yeah. So, and there's super mundane karma, or super mundane karma is transcending karma entirely, entirely as in going outside of it. So if you want to view, I don't have a picture of it actually. I do. I'm not gonna pull it up though. So let's say that let's use this little ball here. There's a ball. Pretend this is the world, or it's not really the world. Just think of this as an entire reality that we currently live in. Now, you do good karma. You could view like each sphere as this is like a different realm you could be in. This is, we'll say this is hell realm. This is the human realm. This is like the angelic realm. There's more realms in this, but this is the ones we're gonna use. Um, so you do good karma, you go up here, you go to heaven. Do bad karma, you go down here. You go to the animal realm or hell, or put it that way. Now, the thing about karma is that it only lasts for a certain amount of a certain amount of time. That time you sometimes can span hundreds of thousands, millions of years. Sometimes it doesn't span that long at all. um, and the bad karma can last just as long. But the thing is that it has to run out at some point because impermanence is a condition that is based on this reality that we currently live in. So no matter how much good karma you have to do, or good karma you have, eventually be brought back down here. No matter how much bad karma you do, eventually that even runs out, and you might be put back in the middle when the human realm is. Now, none of these realms are really conducive for having those states be permanent. So if you go to heaven realm, let's say you're born in a heaven realm, right? Or a super rich neighborhood. We'll say it's a super rich neighborhood. That's the best analogy for it. In this realm right here, everyone in your neighborhood's super rich. Oh, great. Everyone's well off. There isn't that many opportunities to make good karma here. You go to your neighbor's house. The best deed you can do in the heaven realm is bring some cookies. That's it. You're not really, saving anyone. You're not really, really helping anyone because everyone already has what they already need. How can you heal people that, or heal other beings that don't really need help? And again, in the hell realm, as opposite principle probably applies. Even if you're a really awful person, awful people, hurting other awful people, they might stay there for a bit longer than they would in heaven. But again, seeing how we'll use go back to heaven for this one. Seeing how there's no way of making good karma in heaven, or it's very limited opportunity to make good karma in heaven. Eventually, that good karma runs out. It's temporary. It's impermanent, like everything else in the sphere. So you get back here. As soon as this angelic being or body disappears, go back down to earth. Hopefully. Hopefully. And likewise, eventually the bad karma runs out and you get back here. Now, as you can see, is that if no matter how many good deeds you do, and you go up to heaven, and eventually those good deeds run out, because the thing is, like when you're born as an angelic being or a higher being, you don't necessarily have all the memories or your past experiences that you had when you were in the human realm. So it's not like you're going to constantly think about, oh yeah, wait, I was just a human like a minute ago. I need to continue to work on my path to enlightenment or do good deeds so I can maintain this and or supersede this. You're not gonna have those thoughts. They won't be in your mind. You'll be a good person, but you won't have those thoughts that you need to still progress your path. So, knowing this, karma is almost useless in one way because it's like investing in a credit system that you no longer want to be a part of anymore. You get credit points. You get points. You can't say these points, but you get points. But sometimes you just don't want to play the game anymore. Sometimes you're just like, yeah, this bouncing back and forth and up and down and back and forth. I, what's the point of all of it? It's just this giant cycle. No matter like if you knowing that no matter how many good deeds you got to do, you'll be brought back. You'll be brought to heaven, and no matter how many good things you do or how many what station you are in these higher realms, you still got to be back down here eventually because all energy dissipates no matter what realm it's in. So knowing this, Buddhists they try to reach full enlightenment. Full enlightenment is when you have your consciousness leave the sphere of reality. So let's say this is the sphere of reality that's constant cycle of death and rebirth and going back and forth, good karma, bad karma, good karma, bad karma, all that other stuff. You see to supersede this. In order to supersede this, you make it so that you yourself cannot be reborn, or your consciousness cannot be implanted in another entity. So as soon as you do that, so let's say that this is, well, we'll use this. I just pulling things around, finding. You take yourself out the sphere. This is you now. You're sick of going in the sphere. You're sick of going in the circle. Take your consciousness out the sphere. Now, why would you want to do that? Why would you? What's wrong with going in a circle? Because the thing is that knowing that you're reborn and born all over again, you're not going to keep the same patterns and or behaviors and or good karma throughout your lifetimes. There's gonna be some lifetimes you're the best person around. There's some lifetimes you're not so good. Not only that, but no matter what cycle that you're in, you are subject to death and the pain of death. So that's the reason why Buddhists don't want to be in this cycle anymore. They're sick of playing this rat race. We're sick of just going around this circle. We're done with it. So, how do we get outside the circle? How do we get our consciousness outside of this sphere of constant death, rebirth, good deeds, bad deeds, good deeds, bad deeds, good deeds, bad deeds? How do we do that? Well, I could just simply say meditation, but to be honest, it's almost the eradication of our desires that are being left unfulfilled to want to be born back here to begin with. So, if you don't have desire, if your consciousness is free from desire, which is a root of suffering, we'll cover that in another video. If it does not desire, even in the deepest basis of your consciousness, desire to be reborn here, you won't be reborn here. Whatever way that it's decided where to insert your consciousness in whatever being it would be in would not exist. It would be like someone looking at, like your file and like, okay, it looks like if you had reached a certain point of enlightenment, someone, let's say an entity would open your folder and be like, okay, looks like this person will be a perfect candidate, but there's nothing but blank pages. This person's going back and forth. They're like, where do we fit this person into this reality? Where do we fit this consciousness into this reality? And in your folder, there's nothing but blank pages. They can't insert you, or whatever mechanism it is that it uses to insert our consciousness into a being, wouldn't know where to put us. We would not be here anymore. The whole rat race will be over. Now I know this probably sounds terrifying to you, because you're almost I'm almost describing what is called an eradication of ego, and in some points it is, and I know that can almost be terrifying to some people, but I assure you it's not. Having had some experiences, um, it's really not. But that's another video entirely. This video is just meant to explain why Buddhists think the way they think and what our goal is. Our goal is basically to leave this little sphere of samsara, constant cycle of death and rebirth, knowing that it's not permanent. Nothing here is permanent. Now, this I should explain this little outside of the sphere is called nirvana or nibbana, um, how you how you want to pronounce it. Anyways, thank you for a little lecture on Buddhism. That's the way that I view reality. And if you guys have any questions, you know where I'll be. Thank you for watching.